Hello, sir. Good evening. We will wait for 2 more minutes. Let's other to join. Thank you. Okay, we'll start the session. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. So, I am Saravanan, PhD scholar and Prime Minister Research Fellow of Department of Civil Engineering, NIT Tiruchirappalli, and I am a PMR scholar. So, as a part of PMR of deliverables, I am assisting this NPTEL course, Municipal Solid Waste Management, which was originally taken by Dr. Ajay Kalamdad sir from IIT Guwahati. And this is the 11th week of this 12-week course, problem solving session. And in the first 10 weeks, we have discussed about the solid waste, what is solid waste, and the history of solid waste, and the types and sources of solid waste. And then we have discussed the 6 functional elements of solid waste management in detail in the last 10 weeks. The first one is waste generation, then storage, then primary and secondary collection systems, and then we have solved some problem related to collection analysis in hauled container system and stationary container system. And then we have discussed about transfer and transfer stations and transport. And then in the transformation and degradation, we have discussed about physical transformation and chemical reactions. And in the disposal, we have discussed about the landfill design and all other disposal options. In transformation, in physical transformation, we have discussed about lots of compaction techniques, densification techniques, and ferrous removal techniques, and different MRF facilities, how to construct and what are the uses of MRF material recovery facilities we have discussed. And in the chemical treatment process, we have discussed about the composting process for biological degradation and the same anaerobic digester AD for solid waste and waste to energy plants like incineration, waste to energy plants, and gasification pyrolysis process also we have discussed. And in the landfill also we have discussed about how to control the leachate and how to control the landfill gas and how to what are the different advancement in landfill mining technologies and all we have discussed. So this week we are going to discuss about the special kind of waste and also the integrated solid waste management approach. That's what we are going to discuss in this 11th week. And then in the 12th week, we are going to discuss about the financial part of solid waste management. Okay, we'll go into the lecture part. I'll open the slide. Okay. So this module we are going to discuss about the special waste. This first kind of waste is construction and demolition waste. Although C&D waste is not a special kind of waste, we have covered this C&D waste is also in this module itself. So what is construction and demolition waste? How it is getting generated? So as we all know, as you are a civil engineer, if you are from a civil engineering background or from an environmental engineering background, you know construction activity and demolition activity will create lots of waste which is bulk in quantity. So not like a municipal solid waste, this will create a huge quantity of solid waste that's called C&D waste, and it is not a homogeneous thing. It has a mixture of different kind of bricks, plastics, electrical items, and then lots of hazardous plumbing items, and then wires, everything will be there, paints, and lots of mixtures of this waste will come under the C&D waste. Okay, so what are the process which will create C&D waste? So as per the definition of MOEFCC, the process of erecting of a building or a building facility, and if you are doing any alteration in the building, you will generate some waste. So this construction activity will generate some waste. And during demolition, if you are breaking down or tearing down any building through a implosion using some explosives, that will also create some lots of waste. Okay, then deconstruction activity. Demolition is different from deconstruction. Deconstruction in the sense planned selective demolition in which salvage, reuse, and recycling of the demolition structure is maximized. If I am demolishing a structure and I am collecting the waste generated, the same waste I am recycled to build the new structure in the same place. That kind of recycling, if it is happening, then it is called a deconstruction. Okay, so demolition is different from deconstruction. Finally, the C&D waste will get produced. So that will have a building material debris and rubbles resulting from the construction, remodeling, repair, and demolition activity. So this is the definition of C&D waste. So there it may be due to construction activity, it may be due to any type of alteration activity that is called remodeling, and then repair and demolition activity also. It may create some waste that's called C&D waste. So in this module, we are discussing about the special waste. In the special waste, first category is construction and demolition waste. Construction and demolition waste may be created due to construction activity, demolition activity, or any remodeling activity. Okay. So this is the scenario in Indian condition. It's about per year on an average 25 to 30 million tons of C&D waste is getting generated. You can imagine the quantity of the waste. So weight wise and volume wise, it will be very huge. 25 to 30 million tons of C&D waste per year, because lots of slum clearance activities are happening. Lots of new buildings are getting constructed. So this type of construction will give some waste, and also the demolition activity of the old buildings will also create some waste. So in this pie chart, you can see construction activity and minor repair activity will create less waste, and then structures with partial concrete and masonry will create some amount of waste. But the demolition activity is the one which will create the huge amount of density, like 500 kg per meter cube is the density. Okay, construction will have maximum some amount of concrete as a leftover, so that will be the density may be around 40 to 60 kg per meter cube. Okay, so this partial concreting will give around 300 kilogram per meter cube. And then the C&D waste increasing with rapid urbanization and boom in the construction industry. That's what I have mentioned. So the rapid urbanization is happening, and what are the nowadays we can see lots of construction projects are blooming. So this is the blooming industry we can say. So lots of C&D waste will also in turn will generate. So what are the components in this C&D waste as I have mentioned? Brick is the major waste component of the C&D waste, and then cement, plasters, steel. What are the reinforcement we had done during construction? During demolition also it will come into this. Okay, rubble and stones. If it is a stone masonry structure, we will get rubble and stone, and then timber and wood, and then conduits. What are the plastic conduits and iron conduits? Everything will come. PVC pipes. If you are doing if it is a old building, we will get some iron conduits, and then pipes with the GI iron plastics, electrical fixtures, panels. If it is a paneled structure, glass and the wood, everything panels and all. So if you major components are this much heavy components, and these are all minor components. So everything will be the heterogeneous component of this C&D waste. Okay. So now you have to think what can we do with this type of mixture of C&D waste. So to manage because if you leave as it is, what will happen? These are the problems. So if I leave the C&D waste as it is in the roadside or in the highway, so or in my outside of my premises, what will happen? So the C&D waste stored outside the construction site and along the roadsides, that will cause a traffic congestion. So already you know, if there is any construction on the road side or any bridge construction, you may know how much traffic congestion it will create. The same thing if we are placing some C&D waste outside the roads on the roadside, it will also create traffic congestion, and it will add volume to the municipal solid waste. People don't know which is C&D waste and which is one second. So the collectors or the municipality don't know which is C&D waste and which is municipal solid waste. So they will collect everything and they will dispose in the landfills. So it will add on volume to the municipal solid waste collection system. And then clogging of drains. So if it is a unauthorized disposal of the C&D waste on the roadside, will clog the drains. So again flooding will happen. So clogging of drains will lead to urban flooding. So there is a path for the flow of rainwater runoff. So if you are clogging the drains with some this type of solid waste, so this will happen with the municipal solid waste also. So if you are clogging this type of drains with waste, then it will create urban flooding. Okay. So who are all involved in this C&D waste management? As per C&D waste management will have a separate rule. Like solid waste management rule we are having, like that special waste will also have, everything has a separate rules. So we have a construction and demolition waste rule 2016. So who are all the stakeholders? So we need to know who are all the stakeholders who will take part in this C&D waste management. First, the waste generator. Waste generator is the first person who is responsible. Any person or an association of person or institute, they are doing this activity, undertakes this construction activity or the demolition activity. They are the first stakeholder. They are the waste generators. Then the service provider. Service providers are the company who is doing this demolition activity or who is doing this construction activity. So they will excavate, they will demolish the civil works, and they will do this type of construction and demolition activity are called service providers. They are the second stakeholders. And the third one is the local authority. So this local authority or the corporation or the municipal the Nagar Palika, they will channelize this type of activities. So these three are the main stakeholders: waste generators, service providers, and the local bodies or the local authorities. So these three are the major stakeholders for the C&D waste management. So what is their responsible? First, the waste generator. It's in the construction and demolition waste C&D waste management rule 2016 class 4. It mentions about the responsibilities of the stakeholders. Class 4 mentions about the waste generator's responsibility. So this waste generator have to collect, segregate, and store the waste. So if I am demolishing my building, I have to store the waste. I have to segregate different kind of C&D waste, and I have to store. So, if I am generating more than 200 tons of waste per day or more than 300 tons per project, Then I have to segregate it into four streams. What are the four major streams? Concrete, soil, steel, wood and plastics, mortar and bricks and mortar. So these are all recyclables. Concrete, soil, steel, then finally wood, plastic, bricks and mortar. These are all this different stream we have to separate first. Then submit the waste management plan and get approval. So I have to before demolition itself, I have to get the approval from the municipality to for this demolition activity and to manage the waste. Okay, so I have to keep my waste within my premises. I should not dispose the waste in the roadside. So within my premises, I have to keep a separate area demarcated for that to store the waste. And then finally, I have to segregate and hand over the waste to the processing facility. You have to ensure there should not be littering and deposition of this waste. Okay, and another one main concern is no mixing with the municipal solid waste. Municipal solid waste is separate, C&D waste is separate. No C&D waste should reach the municipal solid waste treatment facilities. And we need to pay the generator need to pay the relevant charge for the treatment for taking care of for managing this type of C&D waste. Generators greater than 200 tons per day, sorry, 20 tons per day and 200 tons per project, they have to do this activities. Then the second stakeholder is the service provider. So the class 5 of the rule says the responsibility of the stakeholders. They have to prepare a plan within the 6 month of starting this construction and the demolition waste generated within their jurisdiction. They have to remove all the C&D waste and clear every day. So if I am a company, I am doing the construction activity. So in this construction activity, what are the waste generated? I have to clear in every day. Or else, if it is not possible, I have to tie up with an authorized agency nearby and I have to pay the relevant charge to them. So they will handle this waste. So these two things are the responsibility of the service provider. They have to do. The contractors are the service providers. And the third stakeholder is the local authority. So the class 6 of this rule mandates the responsibilities of this local authorities. Local authorities are the municipalities or the town panchayats. What they will do? They will issue the detailed direction or the detailed plan to the public how to deal with this type of waste, and they will check out the stages, methodologies and the equipment. They will seek assistance from the concerned authority for safe disposal, because there may be some C&D waste management facilities separately for a district. So from there they have to get the assistance and they will do this type of management activities, and they will make arrangement and place appropriate containers everywhere. So wherever the construction activities are happening rapidly. So they are the local authorities' responsibility is to keep some appropriate container for storage of this C&D waste. Okay, then this their responsibility to transport waste to the appropriate site, and appropriate incentives should be given. If the generators are properly managing and segregating the waste, we have to give some incentives, and then we have to examine and sanction the waste management plan, keep track on the plan, and then devise appropriate measures. Expert institutions guidance should be taken. Some of the researchers or some of these type of institutions will help to devise appropriate measures. So if this much of quantity is generated, what can we do with this? So some scientific advices can be given by these expert institutions. Then we need to create a sustained system, information, education, and the communication to the further C&D waste management. Then provision for giving incentives, use of material made from C&D waste. So if the local authority is coming with the idea, or the institutions are coming with an idea to create some other material, recycled material from this type of C&D waste, then I have to give, the local authority should give some incentive and encourage the public to buy this type of recycled material made from C&D waste. Okay. Yeah. So how to manage the C&D waste now? So we have discussed about the responsibility of the different stakeholders. Now we need to know how to manage the C&D waste. First, we have to store properly, collect, transport, disposal, and then processing of the waste. Then assessing the potential for reuse. That's very important. So all the C&D waste are heterogeneous. Even it is heterogeneous, everything we can segregate and we can recycle. We can recycle the concrete, we can recycle the steel, we can recycle the plastic and the iron pipe and then electrical fissures, everything is recyclable. So we need to assess the potential for recycle, then propose reuse and recycle of I'm so sorry, Am I audible now? Sorry, I got disconnected. Am I audible now? I hope I am audible. I will continue the session. Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. So I think from this slide I will explain again. So for the management of C&D waste, first I have to store, collect, transport, and dispose the waste, and then process. Then as this is a heterogeneous waste and everything is recyclable after segregation. So I need to assess the potential for its reuse and recycle. So the proposed reuse and recycle plan should be given, and then the environmental consideration. After recycle, if I am using the recycled material, what are the environmental consideration I need to take care? So if it may leach some toxic metals or it may leach some toxic element, that and all I have to check before reusing. So this is the recycling strategy for managing the C&D waste. That's a sustainable solution we can say. Whatever which is circular, which are all sustainable solutions only. Okay. Then how to manage this type of store, collect, and to process this recycling facilities. So what are the waste that is generated that should be stored in a separate place, and there should not be any development zone around this place, and it should be far away from water bodies, forest, habitation, and clusters. Okay. So this is the important thing. How much distance it should far away from. And then drinking water, sanitary and lighting facilities should be arranged at the site itself. And then we need to have a storm water drain separately around the site. So if there is any runoff, that will be taken care in the drain and it will be treated separately. And we need to have a fencing and a vegetative boundary to strengthen the buffer zone. The waste disposed in the sanitary landfill. This is a sanitary landfill specially designed for the C&D waste. Not for the not We should not mix with the municipal solid waste. That's the main criteria. And then monitoring the ambient air quality is important. Monitoring the groundwater, monitoring the surface water quality, everything is important around the landfill. And we need a weighing bridge. We need a approach road. So all the utilities should be maintained. Okay. What are the roles of the urban local bodies? Urban local bodies are the local authorities. So if it's a small municipality under 1 lakh population, so the within the city boundary, they should have a centralized facility for managing this type of municipal solid waste. So no municipal solid waste bins should be, sorry, it's for C&D waste. So no municipal solid waste bins should be used for C&D waste. So this local authorities should notify location into 5 zones, like north, east, west, and south, and then a central region that is the 5 locations, and then less than 1 metric ton can be deposited in this 5 locations through a collection through the trolley. And if it's a city greater than 1 lakh population, then within the city boundary, there should be a centralized facility where everything will be collected and stored separately. And they should have a treatment facility like less than 4.5 cubic meter, 10 greater than 10 cubic meter transport facilities we have to arrange. Again, this also should not mix with the municipal solid waste bin. So how to process the construction and demolition waste? So we need to first think the profitable reuse for this different fractions. So scarcity, whatever we are getting is concrete, sand, soil, iron, everything is an iron rod. So again, we are having some scarcity for this type of sand and stone. We are not getting now river sand, everything become M sand. So we can also think about using this C&D waste crushed sand. Again, it's a M sand only for new construction. So there is a scarcity for sand and stone. There is a waste in the sand and stone. So we have to think about the profitable reuse of the C&D waste again in the construction, which will save the natural resources. 1 second. Okay. So also it will prevent public nuisance and traffic congestion issue arising from the indiscriminate dumping. So if you are treating everything, that won't create any nuisance and there is no traffic congestion. And if you are not treating, it will go along with the municipal solid waste to the landfill. It will increase the volume or the waste to be managed in the landfill. So it will save the valuable space at the landfill sites if you are treating properly. Okay, and then it will reduce the cost of bulk transportation. So if recycled at the site itself, there is no need to transport the waste. So that's called deconstruction. We have discussed. We are demolishing a building and we are segregating different parts and we are grinding and using in the same construction activity. So that reduces the cost of bulk transportation. You got it? Yes. So these are the benefits we can get. So if we are doing everything at the same location, so it will reduce the cost of bulk transportation. Then reuse and recycling potential. So you can see different fractions of the C&D waste and their end-use potential. If it is a demolition waste, you can use as a recycled aggregate. If it is a construction waste, you can again use as a recycled aggregate. If it is a reinforced concrete, that also you can use as a recycled concrete aggregate for recycling. Then clay bricks, you can use as a, again in the masonry itself, you can reuse. Calcium silicate bricks, again reused for masonry. Natural stone masonry, reused for masonry. Everything as it is, you can use again. Aluminium, we can use as aluminum recycled stream. Steel reused steel components we can use. Mixed demolition waste, we can use as a filling material. In any low-lying area, if you want to fill, you can use this mixed demolition waste. And then asphalt paving, road construction, we can use this asphalt materials. And then ceramic tiles, flooring, cladding, and aggregates we can use. And then natural stone slabs, we can use this type of things in the flooring, cladding, and again we have to crush and we can use as aggregate also. Okay, so whatever the tile material or a stone material or a concrete material, we can not powder, we can grind it and make it as a aggregate. Timber, again reused as a beam. Timber boards are used for reused as a engineered woods. And then plastic, you can send it to the plastic recycling stream. And then gypsum plaster boards, and then glass, you can use in the glass recycling stream. So there is a guideline given by the Central Road Research Institutes. They have done some different experiments, and then they have come up with the idea to use the C&D waste for the road construction. With the asphalt road or the concrete road as embankment, we can use. Okay, and then if you are using this type of things, C&D waste in the again in the recycling stream, there is an exemption of VAT tax for the tiles and curb stone made from the C&D waste. That is called a Malba, we can say. So if we are using this recycled tiles and curb stone, there is no VAT tax. That is a this is again an incentives tax exemption. The primarily mixed aggregate or the recycled aggregates, as well as the recycled concrete aggregate, everything you can reuse again. So to avoid rapid slump loss and manufactured sand and non-load bearing structures, you can use. This again, manufactured sand is the M sand. So this crushed demolition concrete that can crush and use as a recycled fine aggregate for non-load bearing structure. We need to assess the strength of this new structure. So that also we need to look into before using. So non-load bearing structures like pavers, walk path, like that you can construct. Again, recycled coast aggregate and recycled fine aggregate can be used for making concrete for non-structural purposes. 20% for any type of plain concrete and 30% for roads of material we can mix with the virgin materials. So we can't use 100% as it is. We can also think about different combination. We can do some research. And making curbstone, power blocks, concrete blocks, bricks, and road surface. So for this type of non-bearing, load-bearing structures, we can use. This is another new technology to use this C&D waste in the as a daily cover for the landfills. Because every landfill, every day we need a daily cover. For that we request sand. So there is a scarcity for sand and M sand. So this C&D waste is again a waste that can be used as used as an alternate for sand in the daily covers. And we can use in the civil construction in the sanitary landfills like road sites, and then for fencing we can use. Okay. So what is the proposed use? So city, if it is having population of 1 million, 0.5 to 1 million and less than 0.5 million, what are their strategy plan they have to give? That's a time frame for planning and implementation. So they have to frame a policy within 12 months and identify the site within 18 months from the notification. So 2018-16 itself notification came. So within 12 months, they have to formulate the policy, and within 8 months, they have to identify the site for collection and processing of the C&D waste. And within 18 months, this commissioning and implementation of the facility. And 3 times per year or once in a 4 month, they have to monitor the site, air quality, groundwater quality, everything should be monitored by the State Pollution Control Board. The timelines are given for different cities having different population. So what are the environmental consideration we need to check? Every construction and demolition activity will have a dust release. That's the air quality we have to assess. And then every C&D activity will have some noise pollution. So these two are the main thing, dust emission and the noise pollution we need to take care. And these are the other activities and the related issues and the health impacts. So site clearing may have some dust and loss of biodiversity. So that will create some loss of flora and fauna. And the site operation will create some other uncontrolled or poorly managed site will have a surface runoff. So you can read this type of different activity and their health issues, related health issues. As I mentioned, the major ambient air quality and the noise quality level, suspended particulate matter is the main thing. So we know SPM level in the air. So acceptable level is 500 microgram per meter cube. That is assessed for 24 hours. The for 1 meter cube, it should be around less than 500 microgram per meter cube. That is the maximum limit. And then respirable suspended particles like PM10 and PM2.5, there is the range. So 24 hours it should be 100, annual it should be 60. Okay, so this project should be completed within 5 years, and a minimum of 80% of the C&D waste generated should be recycled within the site itself. And then the ambient air quality monitoring should be done 6 times a year. So that means every 2 months once we have to do for a population more than 5 million. If the population is 1 to 5 million, 4 times a year, and the population around 1 million, we need to do at least 2 times a year. And less than 10,000, 1 lakh population, we can do at least once in a year, the air quality monitoring. Okay, and also the same noise level monitoring, because air quality and the dust emission and the noise pollution are the two major environmental consideration. So noise level, it should be around daytime 75 decibel, and nighttime it should be maximum of 70 decibel. It should not go beyond that. It's a guideline prescribed by the CPCB. You know about decibel and daytime, nighttime. If you are, you can also go through some of the noise pollution and air pollution textbooks. You can read about this. So what are the examples we have from India? There is a first pilot scale project for C&D waste management in New Delhi. It's an association with this type of different companies. Again, we are thinking about the PPPs, public-private partnership. So not only the public can do, we have to have some private partnership to manage this type of special kind of waste. So here again, IL&FS are the private company. They have clubbed with this Delhi corporation, and they have signed a consignment agreement for 10 years for setting up of the processing unit in North Delhi. So what they did? The incoming waste was weighed and it was segregated through mechanical and manual means, and then remaining waste is segregated in three parts: bricks, concrete, and mixed C&D waste. They have separated, and then processing technology. How they processed? They first screened to remove the silt and the loose sand, and then the oversized fractions are manually sorted. Then it was crushed and then again sealed with multi-layered vibro screens. Or they can use the log washer. Again, a log washer is a washing technique. It will remove the silt through different types of screening technologies. It's eco wash and evo grid technologies they have did, and then the thickener of what are the silt we have got. Finally, with the filter press, we have separated the silt and the grits. So that can be used as a recycled aggregate in the new constructions. So the final product what they got is carbon blocks and curbstone from this type of C&D waste. So used for making road subspace and ground law surface. The loose soil separated from the grizzly is sold, and the manufactured sand is used for ready mix concrete again. Whatever the sand they got, they sold as a manufactured sand. But how to test the application? The recovered CGP should be laid at least for 1 meter of length in the roadside. Then it should be tested for wear and tear and durability. Then only it can be applied in the field. And another in-situ recycling C&D facility was developed in New Delhi, East Kidwai Nagar. So from the old residential colonies, they first demolished and the waste brick was crushed and it was grounded into bricks and again they made bricks out of the crushed bricks that was sun-dried and used to make the new colonies. This is called deconstruction activity. So everything in the same location, say they reduced the cost of transportation. So it avoided the need of transportation of C&D waste, minimized environmental degradation and saved scarce for land resources. So these are the main advantage and benefits we are getting if we are doing recycling activity within the site. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the other special waste. So, what are the special waste? So, we have last 10 weeks we have discussed about the municipal solid waste. So, municipal solid waste includes domestic waste, that is the what we are getting from the households, and then commercial waste, that is from the markets and all. Then institutional waste, that is from park, institutions, offices and that. So this three combinedly we called as municipal solid waste. Other than this three, we have lots of other waste also that are all coming under this type of special waste. Whatever the hazardous waste we are generating in the house, that is categorized as a separate waste. That is called domestic hazardous waste. It won't be mixed with the municipal solid waste. Okay. So the special waste, including the domestic hazardous waste, comprises of any solid waste or a combination of solid waste that requires special handling and disposal. Like because of its different property, it should be handled separately. What are this type of waste? Plastic, biomedical waste, slaughterhouse waste. Slaughterhouse waste should have separate rules for management. And then electrical waste, electrical and electronic waste, that is called e-waste, waste tires, and battery waste. These are all separate special waste we can say. So everything have separate rules. Plastic waste management rule 2016 is that biomedical waste, battery waste, e-waste, everything has a different management rule. One second. Okay. Sorry for that. So every waste have a separate management rule prescribed by the government of India. So this special kind of waste should not enter or mix with the municipal solid waste stream. That should be collected separately and handled separately and treated separately. So improper collection system for this type of special waste will result in end up in the mixed municipal solid waste stream. Okay. So, what are the guidance given in the integrated solid waste management system for this type of special waste? It should be reused, it should be recycled, whatever we can do that can be recovered. If it is not reused or recycled, it should be recovered. Okay, that's what the guidance says in the ISWM. So, the ISWM principles we are going to see in the upcoming slide. The first special waste we are going to see is biomedical, and then in the upcoming slides we are going to see about the e-waste, inert waste. These three types we are going to see in this module. So as you all know, what is biomedical waste? Biomedical waste is the waste that is generated due to diagnosis, treatment and immunization of human being and animal or research activities. So if we are going to hospital, we are diagnosed and we are treated with some medicine, whatever we are generated waste, it's all our biomedical waste only. Okay, and if you are doing some research activity related to this type of treatment and diagnosis, that is also coming under biomedical waste only. So that is everything should be disposed accordance to biomedical waste management rules 2016. So it is the duty of the local authority to set up a common biomedical waste treatment facility. So if all your hometown you can go and see all your premises, there should be a biomedical waste treatment facility. You can also go and visit how they are doing. So mostly the biomedical waste can be treated with incineration because it's very harmful and hazardous. Most of them are combustible also. So it's good to incinerate to sterilize all the bacteria and because it's having most of pathogens and microorganisms. So to kill that, it's good to do incineration. other than better compared to other techniques of disposal. So this site selection authority for the common biomedical and disposal facility should be taken care by the local authorities. This is the statistics which shows 500 households are biomedical and hazardous waste. Out of this, 15% of the total waste collected are biomedical waste only. So if you see around 500 households and collect the waste, and they have done a study, out of 100 kg, 15 kg is biomedical waste only. So it's account nearly 10% as per the Press Information Bureau of India, and the growth rate is expected to around 7%. So yearly it's increasing on an average of 7%. So in the whole India we are generating around whatever the total municipal solid waste, 10% of it is household biomedical waste only. So I will show some of the pictures of what are the waste that is considered as biomedical. So this household biomedical gets mixed with the other household waste. That is the major problem we are facing. So here you can see soiled sanitary napkins. People will think this napkins as a normal domestic waste and they will dispose in the dustbins. But this is not the normal municipal solid waste. It's a special waste, biomedical waste or a domestic hazardous waste. Also, the diapers, baby diapers, adult and baby diaper, everything is a biomedical waste only because it's directly come in contact with the human body and it may have some blood stains or a human excretion. So it should not be mixed with the municipal solid waste because the people who are handling the municipal solid waste may get infection. So it should be handled separately with the biomedical waste management, according to the biomedical waste management rule. And then blood stain containing cotton buds, split mercury, the thermometer what we are using, and then injected needles from the hospitals or from the household itself. Now people are using needles for the insulin and then discarded insulin pens, everything. If you are testing sugar with a small needle in the household itself, that will have some blood strain. So that will be treated as biomedical waste. So this should be segregated and collected separately as per the color code bins. So in the biomedical waste management rule itself, we have some color code bins. So due to infectious and hazardous characteristics, this should be segregated from the other municipal solid waste at the source itself. Okay, I handed over to in a separate bag or a container to the common biomedical waste management and treatment facility. So healthcare establishment like nursing home, hospital, pathological laboratory may generate this type of biomedical waste. So that should be segregated at the site itself and with the color coded bins. So 25 to 30% of the total generated by the healthcare facilities are biomedical waste only. Some may be plastic and cardboard. Others are 1/4%, 1/4 of the total waste is biomedical waste only. So this type of 1 second. So that should be sent to the biomedical waste M&H rule. Based on this rule, it should be treated and disposal separately in the what we have BMW treatment and disposal facility. So how to categorize this biomedical waste? This again categorized into 4 categories, and we have a color code bins also for the 4 categories. One is yellow, red, white, and blue. If you go to any hospital or any healthcare center, you can see this 4 color bins. So it's mandatory for any hospital to keep all these 4 color bins. So first yellow is for human anatomical waste and soiled waste. It should be incinerated. All these butts and having human organs and any type of this type of blood strains contained cloths, everything will be kept in the yellow bins. Red bins is for contaminated waste, maybe for injection, that kind of plastics and all will be in the red bins. White is for sharp item, needles and everything should be disposed in the white bins. Blue bin is for glassware and the metallic body plants. So that is for the blue bins. So that may also have some cardboards and all will be there. So everything have different treatment technology. Yellow bins waste will be incinerated. Red bin waste will be autoclaved. In some of the hospital or healthcare center, they have a small autoclave system. So after injection, the needle will be autoclaved there itself before disposal. So before putting it in the white bin, that the sharp bin, they will autoclave and then they will discard. Okay, so this blue bins, it will be disinfected and they use it for recycling, because mostly glassware and metallic body. So if it is disinfected, then it can be recycled. There is no pathogens. After confirming there is no pathogen, we can recycle. Okay, so this for this you please remember yellow, red, white, and blue. So what the existing rule says, 1998 is the first biomedical waste management rule. So it gives the guidelines for the occupier, and then the draft rule in 2011 categorizes the waste, and in the 2016 waste management rule, it asked us to classify into 4 categories. That's what yellow, blue, red, and white. And the more stringent standards for incineration and existing incinerator was prescribed. So whatever the exhaust coming out of the incinerator for the biomedical waste, there is a stringent rule. More stringent rule was implemented. Then the second special waste we are going to, first we have discussed about the C&D waste, and in the special waste category we have discussed about the biomedical waste. Now we are going with the e-waste. E-waste is electrical and electronic equipment waste. So if you have a fridge in your home, a refrigerator, if you have a air conditioner, if you have a any kind of television, if you after its use, if you are going to discard, that is coming under e-waste only. And a small item like a remote or a mobile phone or any small item, gadgets, electrical gadgets like headphone, earphones, everything, if you are discarding, that everything is a e-waste only. So lots of countries like low income countries like South Africa and all are getting this much huge quantity of e-waste into their premises, and they are doing some unauthorized or illegal dumping of this waste in the low income countries, and they are also doing some illegal treatment facility to extract some metals out of it. So every mobile phones may have some small quantity of gold or small quantity of silver, so that they will extract separately by heating or burning this type of e-waste. So that will emit more toxic and more hazardous gases out of it, dioxins, furans, and these are all carcinogens that will create lots of health hazards to these people. So unknowingly they are doing this type of illegal treatment things. So all the e-waste should be treated, collected, and handled separately. So that's why we have a e-waste management rule 2016. So it managed to ensure the e-waste, if found to be mixed with MSW, is properly segregated and collected. It ensures the e-waste pertaining to the orphan product is collected and channelized properly. So now most of the offices, we are having a laptop, keyboard, mouse. So every IT office will have lots of keyboard and mouse and monitors. So once they will buy new laptops, the old monitors and the display system will get as e-waste. So many recyclers are there in metro cities for handling this type of e-waste. So there are lots of NGOs and e-waste handlers. You can private parties are there. You can approach them for handling this type of e-waste. I will show some case studies in the last extra session class. Okay. So there is a separate course on e-waste handled by Dr. Brajesh Dubey sir in NPTEL itself. You can also go through that course, and there is a special course on plastic waste management also. That also you can go through. So last year I have discussed about, I have the TA for the plastic waste management course also. So you can see here how much e-waste is come. What are the toys we are using? Electrical toys, which is battery operated toys. Everything is e-waste only again. So piles of e-waste you can see in low income countries. So we have 2 categories of e-waste. One is IT and telecommunication waste, information technology and telecommunication waste. That is centralized data processing equipment, personal computers, printers, cartridge. So every time we are changing the cartridge of the printer, so everything is again a e-waste. So we'll try to refill the cartridge and use the same cartridge again in the printer. So that will reduce the generation of e-waste. And then telephones. Nowadays, nobody is using telephone. We are shifted to mobile phones. So, what are the old telephones that are all again e-waste? Now, solar panels people are using. So, after now, solar panels usage is blooming. So, but its lifetime is maximum 15 years or 25 years. So, after 25 years, what will happen to the solar panels? Who will treat that solar panel waste? So, now research are going on to treat this type of Uh, Emerging wastes also we have to think about. And then category two is consumer electrical and electronics like television sets, refrigerant, washing. These are all household air conditioners, including centralized air conditioning parts. These are category two type of waste. So e-waste consists of more than 1,000 different components. So maybe if you have seen in the C&D waste, we can categorize simply. But e-waste have thousands of different components like lead will be there, mercury, cadmium, gold. If you see, all the elements in the periodic table will be there in the e-waste components. So it's very difficult and it is categorized as hazardous and non-hazardous also we can see. We can't classify it. And e-waste contains major of ferrous metals only. Because everything is made up of iron particles mostly. So it's around 50% will be iron. And then 21% will be plastic because most of our phones are nowadays lightweight. A mobile phone you can see mostly lightweight. So plastic around 21%. And the non-ferrous material like copper, aluminum, silver, gold, platinum, palladium will constitute around 13%. And other components like glass, whatever your display, everything is glass. So that constitutes around 16%. So this is the major components of e-waste. So most plastic components in the e-waste includes phthalates, plasticizers, brominate flame retarders. If I am using laptop now, so most of the electrical products will get heat when we are using for a long time. So it may catch fire easily. So most of the nowadays electronic items are having flame retardants, brominated flame retardants. We will call as BFR, brominated flame retardant. So this will help the equipment not to catch fires and not to catch flames. And the phthalate plasticizers are also used to mold this type of plastics in the laptop or any electrical equipment. So these are all major components, but which are all hazardous again if it is going to the waste stream. And then plastic recovery potential for e-waste is can be quantified. Presence of above mentioned chemical limits the actual recycling potential we have to calculate before reusing. Okay, so this hazardous characteristics we have to do. E-waste are some items will not be covered in the e-waste like batteries, lithium ion, nickel, cadmium, lithium ion, mercury batteries are not covered under e-waste. That is covered under separate waste management rule. Battery waste management rule is there. It should be covered separately. Dry cell batteries are also in the battery management rule only. It's not coming under e-waste. So only the remote, if you are discarding, that is e-waste. The battery inside the remote is handled by accordance with the battery waste management rule. And then compact fluorescent lamp recycling. Uh, this is a separate method to recycle the compact fluorescent lamp. That is also not coming under e-waste. So how e-waste is handled in India? We have a formal sector and we have an informal sector. This is what the informal sector I have discussed earlier. So formal sectors are the authorized person we have to approach for the disposal of the e-waste. So they will dispose around 5 tons per day of waste every day in India. And service centers are take back schemes are there. I am giving my mobile phone, I am taking back a new mobile phone. So that is like take back schemes are there, like exchange offers. Nowadays people are having. So laptop I am giving and getting a new laptop. Like that, for small item also this should be encouraged. For a remote, it should be given and getting back a new remote. And then nowadays every home we have a set-top box, dishes we have for the television. Everything should have a buyback policies. The local authorities should encourage this type of things in the bylaw itself. And then dismantling and segregating pots they are doing. And then after this dismantling, everything will be segregated into different pots and it will be recycled. Do not physically dispose of the e-waste. And then informal sector, what they will do, they handle e-waste by recycling or final disposal. The part can be dismantled, and the scrap metals are recycled. What they are using? They are using acid bath method. Burning they will burn the cables and they will dispose in the landfills. So acid bath is the easiest method and the cheapest method that will segregate different metals because all the metal will dissolve in the acid and the acid will be sent back to the industries to get this type recover this metals. But this is not environmental friendly method or a sustainable method for treating e-waste. So it will create lots of hazardous health issues to the people also. So people can treat this type of e-waste in incineration. Its advantage is because it's reducing lots of volume, but the disadvantage is what are the gas? Even MSW itself will create lots of hazardous gases. But e-waste, if you are incinerating, it will create lots of emission of harmful gases such as mercury and cadmium gases will be emitted. And then acid bath, as I mentioned, everything metals will be dissolved in the acid, soaking the electronic product in the nitric acid or concentrated sulfuric acid to recover metal for the manufacturing of other new products. So that's called the acid pickling, we will say, acid pickling. Then landfilling. Landfilling again not recommended. Most common method they will do for e-waste, but it's also not recommended because it will again whatever the rainfall happening in the landfill, it will leach the metal from the e-waste and it will contaminate the groundwater and surface water bodies. So toxic elements will be leached out. So we need to test the toxic leachate characteristic procedure, TCLP we will call. This procedure should be done for any waste before disposing in the land. Okay, now what the regulation says, the existing rule says EPR, Extended Producer's Responsibility. So if I am selling a laptop, so I am using HP laptop. If HP is selling this laptop, it's their responsibility to get back this laptop after its end of life, or they have to pay to the government to manage this waste. So they know if they are selling this many product, this much waste will be generated. So they have to, this their responsibility to take care of the product end of life management also. That's called the extended producer. If the producer is selling the product, it's the responsibility of the producer is not ended by that. It should be extended until the end of the end life of this product. That's called extended producer's responsibility. So he is responsible for the end of life management. The procedures are provided for handling e-waste was given, and then the stipulation for reducing the hazardous substance and the registration of the facility for recycling e-waste was given in the rule. Now the third type of special waste is inert waste. So inert waste is also not coming under solid waste management, municipal solid waste. Major is street sweeping. So you all know people are doing street sweeping every day, but where this waste is going, dirt leaves and more silts will come in the road. Oh, sorry. So this type of things we call as inert waste or street sweeping waste. So there is a separate procedure to handle this type of waste also. There is a separate color bin for this waste. I will explain this in the upcoming slide. So street cleaning is a fundamental service ensuring clean and hygiene of the urban condition. So whenever the city is clean, they will go and check for the road only. If the road is clean, the city is clean. So road sweeping is mandatory to keep the city hygiene and clean. So it may include paper, plastic, dirt, leaves, and other vegetative matters. Everything will be there. So manual sweeping is commonly practiced in India. In abroad and all, they will use a mechanical sweeping of road with a brush fitted vehicles will be there. I will show you in the upcoming slides. So insufficient waste collection system coupled with the public littering significantly contribute to the waste piles on the road. If the collection system is not proper, then most of the waste will end up in the road only. So what the solid waste management rule 2016 says for the requirement of street cleaning, we should not burn the tree leaves or any other street sweeping in the road itself. The people should collect separately on the alternate days and they should set up a covered secondary storage facility for the temporary storage of the street sweeping and silt removal. Only door-to-door collection people will do, but they don't care about the street sweepings. So street sweeping will be collected at least in the alternate days. There should be a separate collection system for that. And then manual handling of this waste is prohibited if unavoidable. And then workers should be provided with the protective gear. So this rules mandates the personal protective care kits for this workers also. They should be provided with the uniform. They should be provided with the life insurance, health insurance. They should be provided with the proper what we call shoes, gloves, and all. Proper health checkup, periodic health checkup should be given to the workers. So again, what are the equipment and the staff requirements for small town, medium size, and the mega cities are given this. That's the planning for street sweeping, and different classes of streets are there, and their frequency of sweeping. If it is a city center, we need to do at least daily or twice in a day, depending on the need. If it is a market area, daily we need to do. Minor streets, suburban streets, residential streets, everything we need to do at least once in a day. And then road and streets having no houses, we have to do at least once in a week. Highways, rarely we have to do if necessary, because if motorized vehicles may always cross. So that sideways we have some silt that we can remove once in a year or once in a 6 month we can do. Suburban main streets twice a week, and open spaces occasionally we can do minimum once in a 2 weeks. So that category you can say A to I class. So if it is a residential area, before morning itself, we have to do at least 5 hours in the morning and 3 to 4 hours in the afternoon. We have to clean, and then responsible. It's the staff should not sweep the road sweeping into the drains, because again it will clog the drain and it will cause flooding. So to avoid this, we have to make the staff involved in the street sweeping should also responsible for cleaning the drains. Then they won't sweep the street sweeping into the drains, because they have to handle it again. So multiple handling of the waste should be avoided. Local sanitary inspector is responsible for supervising these people. And then if it is a tourist place, it should be regularly cleaned throughout the day. This is what I have discussed about the separate color coded bin. So black bin is the bin designated for street sweeping, storing the street sweepings. So it includes the cleaning the road surface and footpaths without mixing with the domestic waste. It should be separated and segregated in the designated black storage bin or a container. What are the cleaning equipment? As we know, in India, we are still using the manual cleaning for the road sweepings. So long-handed brooms, the handle should not be heavy, and you can see some of the pictures. They are doing street sweepings. So these are the specifications for the broom. Shovel we can use to pick the container and pick the waste after making it in the pile. And hand carts for carrying and transporting the street sweeping, maybe around 25 to 40 liters. And then mechanized street cleaning system. This is what we have seen in abroad and all, still not followed in India. This type of mechanical broom attached with the vehicle will do this street sweeping, and there is a vacuum that will suck the silt and stored in a container. So local condition, investment cost, and operation and maintenance cost should involve in this type, choosing this type of sweeping mechanism. So there is a conveyor belt that will take up the waste. If it is a conveyor belt, that is called a mechanical broom sweeper. So you can see here, it will wipe the road and it will be taken in the conveyor belt, and there is a vacuum that will be taken care. So it's a lower energy demand, lower powered, so it's efficient only. If it is a regenerative air sweeper, there is a it will blow high pressure on the street and it will make the silt to blow on the air, that will be taken care by the conveyor belt and the vacuum pumps. So it is again not cost effective. It's a vacuum sweeper. Yeah. So the people who are doing sweeping should need to clean the drains. Drain also we need to clean. So silt will be taken and taken to the road. So every day it should not be on the road not for more than 1 day. So in the next day itself it should be cleaned. And the drain should be cleaned to a depth of around 60 centimeter at least. Here you can see the drain. Yeah, here you can see the drain. The people are cleaning the silt on the drains, so that will be taken onto the road. So within 4 hours, or in other areas with main roads, if it is within 4 hours, we need to clear. If it is other areas, we can clear at least within 24 hours. So maximum 1 day, it may drain the excess water, and the silt will be removed. These are the silt. We can say the inert waste. And it is not amendable for composting. This silt should not be taken to the compost plant, because this may have some hazardous things. So before but it's again inert, it's not be suitable for composting. Okay. So now we have discussed about the construction and demolition waste, and in the special waste we have discussed about the biomedical, e-waste, and inert waste. Now we are going. Yes, sir. Do you have some doubt? Okay. Now we are going with the integrated solid waste management and the solid waste management rule 2016. It's again a small vague part, but I will try to cover it up in a good manner. So as you all know, solid waste management is not similar to integrated solid waste management. So if waste is generated, how to store, handle, collect, dispose the waste, that is called solid waste management system. But the integrated solid waste management system also discuss about the waste prevention, how to take care, how to prevent the waste before generated. That is also included. That's called the integrated solid waste management system. So that will include waste prevention. Once this is generated, how to recycle and compost, how to dispose in the landfill and combustion. That is called integrated solid waste management system. So that's aim to provide environmentally sustainable, economically affordable, and socially acceptance for any specific region. So these three are the pillars of sustainability: environment, economic, and social acceptance. So if this three meets, it's called a sustainable process. Okay. So the overall context revolves around social, cultural, technical, economics, and all other environmental aspects. That's called integrated solid waste management. So what is the plan? It should identify the need. It will review the existing system plan and review the existing regulation, and it's organizing decision making framework, and it will establish the objectives, and the potential components will be identified and compare other options. Again, a impact assessment kind of thing, and develop the ISWM plan for a city and implement the plan, evaluate the waste management system. So this is the whole plan for ISWM. For this, for all the stakeholders, educators, the public participation, and the out research is required. Okay, so the three physical elements are: first one is the public health. So public health is in collection. Without collection, the public health and the aesthetic will get affected. So maintaining health condition in the urban conglomerates, particularly through good collection services. Second one is environment, waste treatment and disposal. So protection of the environment through waste chain, especially during the treatment and disposal. The third one is the resource management. So here we are having 4R treatment technology instead of 3R. 3R we know, like reuse, recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle. Now the fourth R is return to the soil. That's what we are going to discuss in the upcoming slide. So whatever the material we are getting may have some material value. Waste we are getting will have some material value as well as some nutrient value. So materials we can recycle. The nutrient we can't do anything. That's what we have to return to the soil. Whatever the nutrient we got from the soil, that should be returned to the earth back. That's called returning to the soil. That's the fourth R. That will close the loop. Again, it's a circular economy kind of thing. Linear economy is take, make, dispose. Circular economy is take, make, recycle, again make, recycle, make, recycle. That's called circular economy. Okay. So if you are doing informal recycling sector, that will contribute to around 20% savings to the waste management budget. So 3R is reduce, reuse, recycle. But the fourth R concept is return nutrients to the soil. Whatever the by composting or digesting the organic waste, that's the biosalts we will get, that we will have to return to the soil. That's the fourth R. That's the 4R concept. So now we are going to discuss about the governance features of the ISWM. So for the proper framework of good waste management, waste governance, we need to be inclusive. All the stakeholders, what we have discussed: generators, local bodies, service providers, everybody should be included. And then the financial sustainability. Sorry for that. So all the stakeholders should be involved. Not only this generators, whatever the people who are coming and collecting, they are also the stakeholders for the solid waste management. So and some of the rack pickers who are all doing informal segregation, they are all one of the stakeholders for the solid waste management. Then financial sustainability, that should be whatever the treatment technology we are adapting, that should be cost effective and affordable. And then the sound institutional, the proactive policies. Without such a strong, transparent and institutional framework, this ISWM will not be possible. First, inclusivity we will discuss in a brief. So it involves all the stakeholders in planning, implementing, and monitoring the challenges. So who are all the key stakeholders? As I mentioned, NGOs, women unions we can include in the waste management as a stakeholder. And then the financial sustainability is a major issue to account for the finance, because solid waste management collection itself will cost around 90%, and then in total budget of the city, 3 to 15% are being reported for solid waste management alone. So if you are calculating based on the population of the city, percentage of GDP, it's around 0.1 to 0.7 percentage. So it's again a high cost. Uh, Then sound institution and proactive policies. Transparent institutional framework should be there. Without the framework, the system will not work. That's why in 2001, the United Nations Habitat World Urban Forum created a proper framework which gives a proxy indicator of good governance. And then the successful private sector involvement, because only public and public cannot do anything. Public and the government cannot do full successful treatment method. Also, the private sector's involvement should be there, and there should be a competition and transparency and accountability, which should be there for a proactive measurement. Then gender equality aspect. If you are doing proper solid waste management by involving this type of women unions and all, this will again create gender equity aspects, and it will create revenue. It will waste will be recycled and reduces global warming by reducing the emission of methane and carbon dioxide. Again, reduces the climate change effect. This considers the health and safety of the woman, bringing gender gaps. So waste pickers we are also taking as stakeholders. So that holds again equality in terms of social aspect, it's giving some good equity terms. That's called a Kabadiwala system, we can say. So all the Kabadiwalas are also included in the as a stakeholders of the ISWM. So this is the main hierarchy of ISWM. So you can see here source reduction and reuse. If it is not possible, recycling we need to do. If recycling is not possible, we need to recover the nutrient or energy out of it. Then finally, we have to think about the disposal in the landfill. So you can see the width of the triangle. So source reduction and the reuse is the thing we need to think about a lot. And landfill we have to think at the end. So most preferred option is source reduction, and the least preferred option is disposal. So this is the hierarchy we need to think about. Okay, so I am always telling about with the example of a paper. If I want to print a thing, I will try to not to print. I will read in the laptop itself. That's called reduce. If I am printing on a paper, instead of two paper, if I am printing on one paper, by reducing the scale, that is called source reduction. So if I am reusing on the back side also for printing, that is called reuse. If I am trying to make cardboard out of the paper, that is called recycling. If I am trying to composting the paper, that is called composting. If I am trying to get the energy from the paper by incinerating, that's called waste energy. Finally, the ash what we have left, that is having no value, then it is going to the landfill. That's called disposal. So this hierarchy, please remember, that's the main thing. Now, the seven-step approach for the preparation of solid waste management plan. It will provide efficient service to keep city clean and clean. This is the seven-stage policy. One is policy, program, and legal framework. These are all simple, vague things you can just read. Assessment of current situation, gap analysis, stakeholders consultation, preparation of draft plan, schedule for implementation, stakeholders consultation. Again, we need to do a consultation. Then we need to get the approval and implementation, including PPP. Public-private participation is very important. I'll go through this. This gap analysis is very important. We need to do this gap analysis to that will fit into this ISWM. I'll directly go with the solid waste management rule. Due to time concern, I will go with this. Assignment we are going to discuss in within 10 minutes. We will discuss. Yeah, sorry, it took I guess more than 1 hour today for the lecture itself. Sorry for the delay. We will start the assignment within 10 minutes. I'll finish this. I will wind up the solid waste management rule in 10 minutes. Okay. So why we are discussing about the solid waste management rule at the end? Because now we have a clear idea about all the type of waste and all the functional element of solid waste management. So now we are going with this rule. It will be easy for you to take go with this. So in the Gazette of India, we have seen Municipal Solid Waste Management Rule 2016. So initially, we know the history of solid waste management due to the Surat plague. The first solid waste management rule came into existence in 2000 after Surat plague. Due to the clogging of solid waste in the drains, due to flooding, the plague got affected. Many people got affected by the plague. Then, due to Bowman's committee in the High Court, this solid waste management rule came into existence in 2000. Then it was amended in 2016. This is the latest rule now we are having. Solid waste management rule 2016. You can read in the Gazette of India also. You can download the waste management rule. This is the Bible for solid waste management rule, we can say. So what are the things that is included in the solid waste? Municipal solid waste, as I mentioned, household, there is the domestic, commercial, and institutional waste. So household, street vendors, residential, hotels waste, commercial waste, we can say. So service level benchmark. First, we need to do door to benchmark is like how much percentage we have to achieve in the future. That's what they have mentioned in the rule itself. So household collection we need to achieve at least 100, maximum of 100% we need to achieve, and then the efficiency of collection 100%, segregation 100% we need to do. Recovered material extension we need to do at least 80%, and then disposal we need to do 100%. Readdressal of the customer complaint 80%, and then cost recovery 100%, because without cost recovery, nothing is possible. You know, while you are paying a house tax, you can see a charge called SUC, solid waste utilization cost. So that charge is for solid waste management, collection and treatment. Any house tax, you can see around 5 to 10% of your house tax is SUC cost. So the people are also generating some cost. By biomethanization, they will generate some cost. By selling the compost, they will generate some cost. So the cost recovery also should be 100%. The efficiency in the collection system should be 90%. Collection of the charges. These are the different ministries involved in the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate is the responsible for monitoring all this thing, and different ministries involved in solid waste management we are going to see in the upcoming slides. So what is the role of the duty of Urban Development Ministry? So they will do the periodic review of the measures taken and formulate the national policies and the strategies, and then they will facilitate in formulation of the state policy also. National policy, again the state will have some bylaws. So whatever the all the municipal solid waste 2016, every state have some separate bylaw for them, or any district will have some separate bylaw. And then promote research and development, undertake training and capacity building for the stakeholders. For the, even a waste collector also, we can give some training. And then what is the duty of the chemicals, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer? So they have to assist this city compost, and they have to ensure promotion of this compost, co-composting, co-marketing of this compost with the chemical fertilizers. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Agriculture, what they will do, they will utilize this compost on the farmland, and they will set up laboratories to test the quality of the compost. Okay, and then Ministry of Power, what they will do, they will decide the tariff on the power generated from the waste energy plant. So compulsory they will make the purchase power generate from the waste energy plant. And then you should not confuse with the duties of the Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Source. So the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Source, they will create the creation of waste energy plant is the duty of this ministry, and they will give some subsidy or the incentives for such waste energy plants. So these are all the waste generators we have already discussed in the first lecture. And if it is a house generated itself, we have three level. If it is household level, we need to separate into the three streams. One is biodegradable in the green bin, non-biodegradable in the blue bin, and the hazardous in the red bin. These are the three colored bins we have to think about. If it is a so under the waste generator as a household level, we have to pay the user fee, and we have to separate. We should not mix the C and D waste with this MSW. If it is the event organizer level, I am organizing an event. If I am gathering more than 100 people, I have to get a prior approval from the local authority at least 3 days before in advance, and I have to ensure the segregation of the waste that is generated in the event. If it is a party or a gathering or a political addressing, then what are the waste generated? The teacups and then the food items, whatever the waste generated, that should be segregated on the source itself, and it should be recycled and handed over to the local authority. If it is a street vendor level, he should separately keep a separate bin, and it should be handed over to the local authority. Okay, so they have to do a proper framework and outreach by this. This is the duty of the local authority to form a framework. So they have to frame a bylaws I mentioned for each and every state, and the district may also have some bylaws, and they have to prescribe the user fee, and they have to educate and direct the waste generators. So public education, public awareness should be created. So direct sweeping should not, sweepers should not burn the waste on the site itself. We have to give some proper training to the solid waste management, waste pickers and the waste collectors. And we need to educate the workers and the contract workers. We need to provide, it should be ensured by the local authority, by the collector or maybe the jurisdiction to ensure the personal production equipment given to the waste collector. Proper uniform should be given. As I mentioned, proper health insurance should be provided to them. So if it is a gated community, less than 5,000 square meter, within 1 year they have to create a waste collection system at the source, and they have to have a decentralized composting plant or a biomethanization plant within their premises. So if you are in the community region, you have to think about the as the solid waste management rule mandate within 1 year of the rule, you have to keep this type of waste management activities. So we have already know the site selection criteria for the landfill, and what are the pollution it's creating. And the treated leachate should meet this type of standards. This is also prescribed in the solid waste management rule itself. The suspended solids should meet at least 200 milligram per liter. It should be minimum less than 200 milligram per liter. If we can dispose to the land. If you want to dispose to the public sewer, it should be less than 600. If you want to dispose in the inland surface water like river, it should be treated less than 100 milligram per liter of suspended solid. Like that, all the metals and different characteristics of the leachate were given. So if you are doing composting, what are the parameters it should meet? I have the separate pictures of this. I will share you with it later. So organic compost code I have already given in the folder FCO standards, and phosphate rich manure that is also given in the FCO standard itself. So all the heavy metals and this parameters should match with this levels. And then if you are doing incineration of the waste, what are the air quality criteria we have to check for carbon, for particulate matter, for dioxin and furans, everything the code has prescribed the standards. So some case studies like Hyderabad, they have a consent agreement for 15 years with the private party for aerobic degradation and setting up of the sanitary landfills. Same like in Ahmedabad also you have a public-private partnership. This also we are going to see in the upcoming, next week we are going to discuss about the PPP policies. They have this is a failure model again because of the no proper lid and no proper awareness on public to segregate the waste, and no proper dumping and illegal unloading was there, and then user fee they are not ready to pay. The people are not ready to pay because of the loss of awareness, and informal sector was not given proper safety measures. That's why that project got failed. And then the indoor model, you know, indoor is a smart city. This is the model we can take for proper solid waste management. So they have invested a cost of around 700 crores for solid waste management itself in a Pan City area. So these are the activity they have done with this amount, and you can see before and after image for the indoor city itself. You can also go and visit this type of Sarafa and Ajwada area. Now it's got cleaned and it's a developed area now. So this is the bin-free initiative. So effective door-to-door collection reduces the garbage on the road. So this is mandated by the Solid Waste Management Rule 2016. Door-to-door collection. So there should not be any waste that is let into the road area. That is called a Jagirdari Prata, who is responsible for bringing the garbage into the dustbins. You can see with this bin-free initiative itself, 2000 liter bins in the commercial area they have installed in the indoor city itself. So lots of public awareness in the public bus stands, and lots of posters they have created to give awareness, and the spot fine for people who are discarding waste in the road they have announced. So this is all about the solid waste management rule and the case studies, and also we have discussed about the integrated solid waste management rule and integrated solid waste management system, and the special waste in that category C&D, biomedical, inert and e-waste we have discussed. So if you have any doubt, please let me know in the chat box, or you can unmute and you can ask. or else we will go on with the problem solving session. No, it's not like an assignment answers. I should not discuss the same assignment question, so I will go with the new question this week. So you can get the assignment answers late. You have to keep on your own. So this is not the session for giving the assignment answers, please. I'll go with this new questions today. Can you please post the answers in this chat box, or you can unmute and you can say the answer. How many times in a year should ambient air quality monitoring be carried out for the city having population 1 to 5 million? So we have the major problem with the C&D waste is air pollution and noise pollution. So what is the this last week fourth question answer. This you please write to the NPTEL. They will take care. I am not directly related with NPTEL. Sorry. So I am just for the problem solving session. This assignment and the marks are handled by the NPTEL team. You please write to the NPTEL team. They will take care. Okay. So can you please let me know the answer in the chat box? So the part of the population of 1 to 5 million, it should be around 4 times in a year. It should be cleared. Yeah. Yeah. So second question. Treatment of biomedical waste is governed by Treatment of biomedical waste is governed by solid waste management rule, municipal solid waste management rule, biomedical waste management rule, hazardous waste management rule. Yeah. So it's biomedical waste management rule. It's not hazardous. Sorry, sir. It's actually biomedical waste management. Hazardous is for domestic hazardous waste and industrial hazardous waste. So biomedical waste is governed by biomedical waste management rule. So here you can see existing rules are biomedical waste management and handling rule 1998 and the new rule is 2016. Yeah. So this is a multiple choice question. What are the constituents of e-waste? E-waste may contain plastic, inert, ferrous, glass. So you can take as A, B, C, D. What are the answers are correct? All. Can you please check with the inert? Inert will come in e-waste. I think only A, C, and D. It will be around plastic, ferrous, glass. Yeah. So the e-waste may contain ferrous metal, plastic, non-ferrous metal, and other components like glass. Inert will not be in the e-waste. Okay. We'll move on to the fourth question. Which sweeper has yeah, brominated fire retardants will be there. It's not a inert material. So plastic may be having phthalates. That's not discussed here. Yeah, plastic may have some phthalate plasticizers and brominated flame retardants. That is hazardous, but it's not the inert. Yes, correct. Okay. So which sweeper has low energy demand in street sweeping? So in street sweeping, we have different mechanisms like manual sweeping will be there, mechanical broom sweeping will be there, regenerative sweepers, vacuum sweeper, which will have lower energy demand. It's not regenerative because regenerative will force lots of air to the road, so it will require energy to blow the air. But mechanical broom sweeping will only sweep the road and it will take with the conveyor belt and some vacuum system. So B is correct. Mechanical broom sweeper is correct. So you can see here mechanical broom sweeper removes standard road waste, conveyor belt, and then to the bins. So it is in lower energy demand than regenerative sweeper and vacuum sweeper. So here you can note down it is a lower energy demand than regenerative and vacuum sweepers. So we'll move on to the fifth question. What is the acceptable level of suspended particulate matter in ambient air quality at the processing site? Acceptable level for suspended solids in the ambient air quality. So ambient air quality may have suspended particulate matter and respirable suspended particulate matter like PM10 and PM2.5. So they are asking about the SPM, suspended particulate matter, maximum limit, 24 hours limit, acceptable limit. Should be around 500 microgram per meter cube. That's the limit. So this is the limit they are given. Sir, you want to sell something? Can you please unmute?
सर लास्ट टाइम असाइनमेंट डिस्कस किया था उसके क्वेश्चंस वगैरह, इस बार आप कर ही नहीं रहे।
Sorry?
सर लास्ट जो सेशन हुआ था उसके अंदर हमें असाइनमेंट से क्वेश्चन वगैरह डिस्कस किए थे।
No, I should not discuss the same assignment question. So actually, the old assignment problem only I have to discuss. If you have any doubt, you can please ask. I will discuss that questions.
ओके सर।
Okay. So it's given in that ambient air quality and the noise levels. So noise level should be 75 decibel in the daytime, and nighttime it should be around 70 decibel. And in the air quality, it should around suspended particulate matter will be 500 micrometer, and PM10 and PM2.5 also they are given the limits. So sixth question, what are the methods of e-waste treatment and disposal? So e-waste disposal, we have lots of methods. So acid bath, incineration, landfill, none of the above. It's a multiple choice question. Can you please answer in the chat box? Disposable methods for e-waste. It may be acid bath for acid pickling. Incineration is correct. Landfilling is also correct. Okay. So all the three correct. Okay. We'll go. That's the treatment and disposal of methods for e-waste. Incineration, but it is having more emission. Acid bath that may leach metals. Landfilling, again it will also leach metal into the groundwater. So these are the three options. Seventh question, which is what is the permissible time for collected silt to be in the main road? If it is a main road, after collecting the silt from the drain, how much maximum time we can keep in the main road? 2 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, and 1 hour. Yeah, 4 hours. So if it is a main road, we can keep up to 4 hours maximum. Before that, we have to clean. If it is a normal road, we can keep up to a maximum of 24 hours. Okay, 4 hours is correct. Yes. So wet silt should be removed from the main road less than 4 hours. If it is other area, within 24 hours, we have to clear. And it should be contained in a black container. Okay. So eighth question, according to the Biomedical Waste Management Rule 2016, biomedical waste has been classified into 2 categories, 3 categories, 4 categories, and none of the above. Biomedical waste categories. Yeah. So again, 4 categories. What are the 4 different color coded bins? Yellow, red, white, and blue. So these are the 4 categories we have discarded the categories in the biomedical waste. So biomedical waste has been classified into 4 categories in the solid waste management, biomedical waste management rule 2016. Okay, ninth question, who are all the major stakeholders of C&D waste management? Service providers, waste generators, waste energy plant, and local authorities. It's a multiple choice question. Who are all the major stakeholders? Stakeholders are the participants in the solid waste management, C&D waste management. We have a waste generator. Once again, I will finish this question and I will come to the chat. We have a waste generator, we have a service provider, we have a local authority. All the 3 are stakeholders, like service provider, waste generator, and the local authority. Coming to the question in the chat box, Which of this e-waste stream is covered under Schedule 1 of the e-waste? Uh, the same question in the this should not be discussed here. Please be check with the material. You can get the answers. Okay, we'll move on. So here we have to match the stakeholders and their responsibilities. So what is the role of service provider? What is the role of waste generator? What is the role of local authorities? We can match this. So the waste generator should pay the relevant charge. The service provider should the service provider should tie up with the authorized agency, and then the local authority should make arrangement and place appropriate containers. So A will be second, B will be third, and the C will be one. Okay. So this is the waste generator should pay the relevant charge. Service provider should tie up with the authorized agency and they can pay the relevant charge. For them, instead of them, they will do the disposal activity. And then the local authority should make arrangement and place appropriate containers. Okay. Yes. So here, what are not the major issues of C&D waste management? Dust emission, noise pollution, traffic congestion, clogging of drains, urban flooding, none of the above. These are the what are the major issues of C&D waste. So while managing the C&D waste, dust will be emitted, noise pollution will happen. So if you are keeping the C&D waste in the roadside, traffic congestion will happen, and it may clog the drains. After drain got clogged, the urban flooding will happen. So these are all the major issues of C&D waste. So they are asking what are not the major issues. So none of the above. Okay. So you can see these are the problems related with the C&D waste. Okay. Which of the following is not a special waste? So we have discussed what are all special waste. Plastic waste, biomedical, slaughterhouse waste, municipal solid waste, e-waste, waste tires, and battery waste. Which of the following is not a special waste? You can put the answer in the chat box. Yeah, correct. So municipal solid waste is not a special waste. So others are other special waste categories. Yeah, correct. Okay. Which of the following is not a household biomedical waste? So we have discussed a lot of biomedical waste that is household itself. Soiled sanitary napkins, adult and baby diapers, lead batteries, blood-stained cotton buds, split mercury that is the thermometer, injected needles, discarded insulin pins. So which is not a household biomedical waste? So one is not a biomedical waste. Yeah, correct. So lead battery is a e-waste, not e-waste. It's a battery waste. Again, it's not a e-waste also. Yeah. So these are all the biomedical waste. Okay. So what is the designated color code for storage bin or container for street sweepings? Blue, red, black, and white. For street sweeping, that is the inert waste, we are having a separate color coded bin. What is that? Blue, red, black, and white. Separate container for street sweepings. Yeah, black is for inert waste. That's correct. So we have a designated black storage bin or container for street sweepings. Okay. What is the fourth R in 4R concept? So we have 3R and fourth R also included in the 4R concept. What is the fourth R? Reuse, recycle, reduce, return to soil. So the fourth R is, so we have waste. The waste we can recover some material. Also some nutrients is also there in the waste. So the nutrients also we can recover. So that nutrients will end up in the soil. So fourth R in the 4R concept is Return to soil. Okay, so reduce, reuse, recycle, and the fourth R is return to soil. That's the fourth R. Okay. Why there is a need for ISWM governance? There are three need: be inclusive, be financially sustainable, to have a sound institution and the proactive policies, all the above. Okay. So there should be a need for ISWM governance to include all the stakeholders, to make it cost effective by financially sustainable, to have a sound institution and proactive policies, so that proper framework will be there. So all the above is the need for ISWM governance. So D is correct. That's what we have discussed here. Need for the system: inclusive, financially stable, sound institution, and proactive policies. Now we are going to discuss about the duties. So, which ministry is responsible for ensuring the promotion of co-marketing of compost with chemical fertilizers? So the question itself is given. So whatever the compost we are generated from the composting plant, that will be co-marketed with the fertilizers. So who is responsible? Ministry of Urban Development, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources. So here the Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers are responsible for promoting the co-marketing. Here you can see it's the duty of the Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers to ensure the promotion of co-marketing of compost along with the chemical fertilizers in the ratio of 3 to 4 bags is to 6 to 7 bags by the fertilizers. So they have to mix the compost also. Again, which is the duty? Which ministry's duty is to decide tariff or charges for the power generated from the waste energy plant? Here you should not confuse with the Ministry of Power and the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Sources. The tariff on the charges of power generated from the waste energy plant was decided by the Ministry of Power. The same I have asked in the second question. Uh, the ministry which provides subsidy or incentives to the waste energy plant is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So this is the ministry which generates energy. So they will provide subsidy to the waste energy plant. Okay. So here you can match the waste generators and their duties. So we have three levels of waste generator. One is household, event organizer level, street vendor level. So what is their duty? If it is a household waste, household level, we have to segregate into three bins, namely biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and hazardous waste, and we have to pay the user fee. If it is the event organizer, if it is greater than 100 people gathering, should get a approval and segregate the waste at the source. If it is a street vendor level, we need to keep suitable container for the storage. So answer is A2, B3, C1. Okay, these are the household level, um, event organizer level, and the street vendor level. So I'll move on to some more questions also. You can answer this question. Which of the following activities most preferred in ISWM hierarchy? Recycling, waste to energy, source reduction and reuse, landfilling. Please post the answer in the chat box. Most preferred. So in the ISWM hierarchy, which is most preferred, which is least preferred? We have reuse, recover, recycle, recover, disposal. Disposal is the final option. So most preferred is source reduction and reuse. That's correct. Yeah. So that's the most preferred, source reduction and reuse. Then recycling. Then we have to think about composting. Then waste energy. If nothing is working, we need to think about the disposal on the landfills. Only with the inerts. So the second question, which sweeper has lower energy demand? That we have already discussed, the mechanical broom sweeper. Because others are having more energy intensive. This is cheaper, lower energy consumption. Okay. Here, the engineering division of local authority is responsible for removing silt from surface drain or stormwater drain deeper than. So they have to clean the drain up to which depth? At least 60 inches, 60 centimeters, 60 foot, 60 meters. The engineering division of the local authority have to take care of this. So the answer is 60 centimeter, at least 60 centimeter they have to remove. That's what discussed here. The removal of silt from the surface drain or the storm drain deeper than 60 centimeter, and the manual should be cleaned by the engineering division of the local authority. Okay. Maybe this numbers you have confused. Answer is 60 centimeter. At least 2 feet they have to clear. Yeah. So what is the permissible time for collected silt to be on the open road? Maybe you can take as a main road. 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. Main road it's 4 hours. You have already answered. Okay. Okay. So this you can answer. It is a duty of which ministry to set up lab to test the quality of compost produced? Ministry of Urban Development, Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy Source. Which ministry will set up lab to test the quality of their compost? So you can see how many number of ministries are involved in the solid waste management itself. So the answer is Ministry of Agriculture. So that's correct. They will test the quality of the compost before applying to the agricultural field. Here you can see the duties of the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India, how to utilize the compost on the farmland after testing it in the laboratory, that is set up by this ministry. Here you can answer. Which of this e-waste stream is covered under Schedule 1 of the e-waste? Dry cell batteries, lithium-ion batteries, mercury, plastic, printer cartridge. So Schedule 1 is not covered under e-waste, that is the separate thing. So here, multiple choice question again. The answer is plastics and printer cartridge. You can see here, category 1 is IT telecommunication. Mostly of our electronic items. Category 2 is consumer electronic items. So here television sets and all. So they are asking about the schedule 1, that is the category 1 waste. Category 1 is like plastic printer cartridge. Here you can see plastic printer cartridge. I'm sorry. This is category 1. They are asking about the schedule 1. Schedule 1 is nickel, lithium ion and dry cell batteries. Please change the answer option. Not this. Schedule 1 is dry cell lithium ion batteries. That's what mentioned in the schedule 1, right? Dry cell batteries, lithium and mercury also. Yes, mercury also. Please correct this. So it's not category 1. I have posted this also. Category 1 is different, schedule 1 is different. Category 1 and 2 are included in the e-waste. Schedule 1 streams are not covered. Okay. They are asking which one is covered. Okay, they are asking about covered. It's not covered in the sense. Schedule 1. Okay. So please read the question carefully. Which is not covered means plastic and printer cartridge. Which is covered means dry cell battery, lithium ion and mercury. Please be careful. Not covered under schedule 1. Okay. Then seventh question. Maximum allowable value of suspended solids in the treated leachate while disposing in the land is. Suspended solids in the leachate. We have 3 categories. Inland surface water body disposal, public sewer disposal, land disposal. So first category is suspended solids only. So it should be less than 600 milligram per liter. Sorry, for land disposal it should be around 200 milligram per liter. Public sewer only 600. Land disposal 200 milligram. Okay. So the 8th question. What is the acceptable level of suspended particulate matter in the ambient air? This we have already discussed. SPM level should be 500 microgram per meter. Microgram. That much low it should be for 24-hour average. If it is PM10, 100 and 60, 24 and annual. If it is to PM2.5, 60 and 40, 24 hours and annual. SPM is 500, total is 500. According to the manual of solid waste management, dry waste should be segregated in which color coded bin? Blue, green, white, yellow. In the biomedical waste management rule itself, dry waste where it will be? Biomedical. Manual on solid waste management discusses about the biomedical waste, 4 categories and color codings. So yellow will be for human anatomical waste. Then blue will be for dry waste, glass, metal and all. White will be for sharp. Red will be for contaminated waste. So the answer is blue. Okay. So the last question, list the objectives which are not framed according to e-waste: to regulate the generation, to reuse the e-waste, to regulate the transportation, to regulate the disposal of e-waste. So 10th question, last question, please answer here. Objective which are not framed according to e-waste management: to regulate the generation, to reuse the e-waste, to regulate the transportation, to regulate the disposal of e-waste. So management will discuss about the generation regulation, transportation is regulated, disposal also regulated, but e-waste is not reused, it's not mentioned in the e-waste management framework. That's it. So if you have any doubt on today's session, please unmute and you can ask, or you can post it in the chat box. If you don't have any doubt, please leave the meet. I will wait for 5 more minutes and then I will wind up the meeting. Thank you so much for joining. So we are in the 11th week of the problem solving session. We have one more week, and again we have an additional 1 week 2 hour session on 22nd of October. Okay, please join for that course also. If you don't have any question, you can leave the meet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining.
सर 9th क्वेश्चन का सॉल्यूशन बता दीजिएगा.
Sorry,
9th क्वेश्चन
what is that?
repeat 9th question.
Which 9th one actually we're talking about? I have two set of questions. I'll post this anyway. I will post this PPT in the problem solving session. You can refer this. No issues. Thank you so much for joining. Any more doubts? Okay, I'll wind up the meet. Thank you so much for joining.